casually looking at the breath mentally with eyes closed. You can see me later. You have more time and I'm not as smart as you think. So keep looking at the breath. So here we don't focus, the three-pointed awareness of the breath. That I deal exclusively in a private session, but yes, when we'll have another workshop, I'll deal deeply. What is the first point of awareness? Looking at the breath that is going, know the breath is going in and out. Second point, you feel the sensation of the breath when it goes in and out. Natural, you're not doing anything. And the third thing, you prevent the mind to do anything. What? Do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Why? Mind drops deep inside. We have done 11 minutes. Do not think. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. One single breath you have to chant with me, long Om. In the second breath you have to say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti with me. 2 times. Let us take a deep breath. Wonderful. Don't hurry. Take the second breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. One more. First deep breath. Wonderful. Another breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind to the right hand, your mind to the left hand. Lift your both of arms, place it in your eyes. Open the eyes and sigh. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down and open your eyes. How are you, sir? Oh, the last. Better beer than me. Present. Very good. Sir, how are you sitting?
Back's calm.
Calm. Don't leave this calm until we meet next time. Promise me.
Promise you.
All problems are gone now.
I'm healed. Cured.
Huh?
I'm healed.
So, anyone wants to share their experiences? Now, you see, the moment you will it, withdraw the mind, I did nothing and I just sat here. Oh, 2 hours, I have to give the class. You have to park the car. That's all. Finished. Any question, any sharing of experiences? Please. Most welcome. You have tolerated me, now I will.
I share my experience.
Yeah.
It was really nice to be in this energy with you, and then your voice was very soothing.
Oh, thank you. Are you taking me to your home? I'll always be with you.
You may.
May is doubtful. Not with conviction. I'll ask you again when we meet next time.
You know the answer.
That's really good. Because we all align. It is the same self. It is the same true nature that is in you and that is in me. That is in everyone. How do we understand? There are 50 waves in an ocean. Outside, they appear different. Small, big, maybe like tsunami. But inside, it is the same content, the water. That water is our true nature. Outer expression is different. Shapes and the forms and the colors, they make your wave. Meditation is to see inside, not to see the difference. Why? Eastern wisdom gives you a common knowledge. That is the beauty. You know, science gives you a differential knowledge. Front bench of science, physics, chemistry, biology, astronomy, medical science, physiology, psychotherapy, social work. 3,000 texts, Eastern wisdom, instrument of knowledge, one common knowledge. What is that? The very essence we are made up of is same. To find that essence is meditation. So when you find that essence in you, you can see the same essence in everyone. Don't tell, first let me find that essence in Eric. No, it will never happen. I have to find for myself. I experience that. I live into that. Then don't worry. Then you find the same essence in everyone. That brings the kindness and a compassion. It overflows. Don't practice kindness. You cannot practice kindness. You cannot practice compassion. It is not a practice. It has nothing to do with morality and ethics. It is a flowering blossom. That is what Buddha did. That is what all our great masters did. I'll continue speaking, that's all. Any question, any share? Jason, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
You have to be specific. What is very good? I am, you are, practice, experience.
I have some insight and I need to be more of a seeker.
That's good.
Make the change from
I
the
like it.
inside to affect my world.
Yeah. That's really good. Your mind hit with that, becoming a seeker. That you become a seeker, the teacher appears before you. The teacher chases you. That is what our master, our teaching says. No, I don't want to go into that area. Louis, you're good?
Yeah.
Shane, good?
Yeah.
You promised me that you will remain calm
Yeah.
until we meet next time.
Change the inside and outside. Changes. There's a lot you can do from this city.
So, American way. Namaste.
Namaste.
I learned it from Casey. Namaste.
So what is the Eastern way then?
Huh?
You said this is the American way, so
This is,
What
this
is
is,
the-
you know,
what
this
is
is,
the Eastern way?
bowing down and saying namaste. Normally we say namaste in the beginning. And then we saying namaste and then we close our eyes, we find a common element, common essence. I am you and you are me.
Yes.
That sense of I-ness we find in the very beginning of a class. So my One of my teachers is Casey. I learn from everyone. Done?
I want to add just one thing. So we're gonna, those of you, there's a notebook over there. So if you want to add your email to that, so Girish has a month or weekly. It's weekly on Saturday morning.
Weekly Saturday morning session from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.
That he does online. And so can invite you to that if that's something that you're interested in.
Sometimes 50 people join me on Hangout, sometimes 5, sometimes 10. But I've been continuing it for the last almost 8 and 9 years on Google Hangout.
And then he also has the book for sale. If anyone, he said $8.
Yeah.
If anybody wants that.
Which book? The book that
The book that
that
he's
I-
yeah.
The one that you
I was read to you yesterday.
I really
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And so, and then,
Thank you, Lara.
yeah, thank you. And so, thank you so much for being here. And then we think we're going to follow up with this again in about 3 months. So, but there might be some pop in before then. So,
That would be,
yeah.
You only need to remain calm for 3 months.
Yeah.
I like this, that's good. Again, we already have 4 hours, yeah?
Yeah, 4 hours.
Session. We had 3 practices, but I will summarize in a few minutes so that the continuity is maintained. But I want to ask a very simple question. I hope everyone will answer that. Eric, how long it took you to reach here?
53 years. Actually, 52 years.
Eric is always asking how long it took you to reach to this studio from your home.
8 minutes.
8 minutes. And Grace?
If I came straight, it's 30 minutes. But then I made a stop, so longer than that.
That happens. No worries.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
About an hour.
Oh.
We stopped for coffee.
How about you, Shane?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. So you all know the answer. The second question is, how long it takes you to reach to yourself?
Instantly.
Instantly. Eric.
Never.
Sorry.
I don't know, 15 minutes. Get calmed down.
Yeah.
And how about you?
It's kind of a mystery. I don't.
Yeah. Life
Don't
is
know
a
how
mystery. Life is a mystery. Meditation is a mystery. How about you, John?
You know, I don't know how to answer that.
You don't know that.
I mean, I could say,
How long
My-
it takes
myself,
us to
yeah,
how long it takes us to reach to ourself? I never said how long it takes you to reach to Eric. I asked you how long it takes you to reach to yourself.
Do we already have it? Or is it the whole life?
If we already have it, then we are in the state of meditation 24/7. We live, work, and act into that meditative state. So when I asked you how long it takes you to reach to the studio from your home, you know the studio. There is already a knowledge. You know, we all know where the studio is. right? But that knowledge has to be realized in space and time, right? So my question was, no, you said 8 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. No, I had to stop in between. Yeah, right? That is the first type of the knowledge with cause and effect relationship. I'm not talking on my own. I'm going to brief you what we have been talking for the last 2 sessions. It is all about the teachings of the Eastern wisdom. That includes yoga, tantra, meditation. We have more than 3,000 texts and 3,000 masters who lived much before the Buddha was born. So they have scribed those texts. So there are 2 groups of the texts that I taught on the first day. The first group of the text was written by a master after the knowledge was revealed in deep meditation. So those group of the texts are known as Shruti, where the yoga, tantra, mantra, meditation, awakening, realization, all those topics are covered. But that knowledge was revealed in deeper meditation. So even though we are aware that those masters in their deep meditation, the knowledge was revealed, but we know the name of the masters. So other masters have written that. And then the commentary was written, and that is how the tradition continued. That is the Eastern wisdom. So I'm speaking on behalf of that. So whatever I'm speaking, coming from that knowledge, which I learned from my master. There is nothing that is mine. Based on that, so first type of knowledge, what happens? The knowledge has to be realized in space and time. I'm going to marry, space and time. I'm going to divorce, space and time. A lot of stuff. Yeah? Paycheck, every week, twice a week, space and time. Right? Now the second type of the knowledge, you don't do anything, it happens on its own. When it happens, then the knowledge is realized. Can you give me an example? You will become very clear why mindfulness or meditation is known as transcending the mind. Why it is known as effortless. That's what we use. When you Google, mindfulness is an effort. Yeah. Can you give an example? Eric, if you have to grow your beard, what you need to do? You have to wait. You have to do nothing. There is no space and time. Just simply wait. Time is there, space is not there. Wait, 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 and right? Second way of realizing the knowledge. In meditation, there is no space and there is no time. Why it is so? Guess?
You let it all go.
Huh?
You let it all go.
You let it all go.
Your thoughts,
Your
to-do
thoughts,
lists.
your body, your mind, your intellect. But still you let it go, it takes time.
Yes.
So it comes into the first category. Think of it. So before answering, I will tweak a principle from the Eastern wisdom. The modern, modern science for the last 200 and 250 years, we have developed a very higher level of human intellect and intelligence, right? We always want to talk about meditation based on this human intellect and intelligence, right? I want to understand what you're talking. Let me understand. But understand, very important part, this human intellect and intelligence is based on the matter and interaction with different forms of the matter to see the objective reality. This type of a knowledge of objective reality in our Eastern wisdom is known as apara knowledge. Apara. But knowledge of meditation is para knowledge. It goes beyond the human intellect and the intelligence. Why? It finds and discovers your subjective reality, your true nature. What is that subjective reality? Your true nature. Do you leave yourself at home? Can you be present at two places? No. That one, that I am, is always present. It is always present. So when I asked you a question, how long it takes you to reach to yourself, where you are, here and now. What you are going to find out, that true nature. Where it is located, you and the true nature is the same. So when you live into that knowledge which transcends space and the time, you are in a meditative state. Before that, when you ask your mind, let it go, the thoughts are coming, oh, let it come and go. So you are still waiting. You are waiting. You are waiting in time, or you are making some effort to drive these thoughts away. Am I clear? Yeah? So I picked up only 5 or 6 verses from the Upanishad. Are you aware of the Upanishad? I discussed about it. Upanishad is a group of the texts. The literal meaning of the Upanishad is sitting nearby. So what does that mean, sitting nearby? Sitting nearby yourself, that is one meaning. And the second meaning is when the teacher, you sit nearby the teacher. The book of knowledge is the Eastern wisdom. The teacher expounds that knowledge for you to realize the true nature. The teacher has simply a rope of a point. Clear? So this Eastern wisdom, in the first day I covered, it is an instrument of knowledge to discover my true nature. That is the subject matter of meditation. According to the teachings of all these masters, this knowledge cannot be upgraded, cannot be updated. Why? Why? I covered it on the first day. Shri?
I wasn't here the first day.
No.
I can guess.
But I summarized on the second day also.
Yeah.
You see, I'm opening up the second principle. There are 4 steps to progress and perfect in any journey of the Eastern wisdom that includes mindfulness and meditation. So the first step is to know the principle, Shravanam. Shravanam means, I don't know, let me know the principle. Right? Second is contemplation and reflection. Why contemplation? To bring the intellect to a state of conviction. You know the studio is here. You have a conviction. There is no doubt about it. Reflection. So the mind and the intellect should remove all kinds of doubt about that principle. So here comes the principle. That's why, Shireen, I asked you. Yesterday you were there, I summarized it. So the master says that we have to repeat these principles in our mind again and again to help the intellect to gain the natural focus on the intellect, on the subject, on the goal, and to remove all the doubts and the confusion related to it. So what happens when that doubt is removed from the mind? When there is a conviction, it is the intellect that inspires you to meditate. Intellect will find the time. Don't you find the time to go to the restroom, to take lunch and dinner? How they are more important than meditation. The intellect inspires you. So it follows that process. Shravanam. Second is mananam. The third is practice. Or you simply use the word. I don't know, so let me know it. First principle. I don't understand, let me understand. Second principle. I don't experience. So after conviction, let me practice to experience. And the last step is, I don't feel the change. Continue the practice. So the change comes to the mind. You experience it. That experience changes the brain. That is what modern science is talking about, neuroplasticity, epigenetics. Are you aware of neurogenesis? It changes the brain pathways. We have already spoken about it. Those masters have spoken about 6,000-7,000 years. Even they did not use the word brain. So your experiences changes the brain. The brain changes your attitude. Your attitude changes the personality, and the personality changes your day-to-day life. That is how the meditation brings the transformation in life. One more point in these 4 steps. One principle you learn, or my master used to say that you are learning, you are listening to me for an hour, you should contemplate and reflect mentally for 10 hours. 1 hour of listening, 10 hours of contemplation and reflection, and 30 hours of the practice will help you succeed in any meditation. So you did not contemplate what I taught yesterday.
Somewhat.
David knows the name. Michael Gladwell. In Outliers, he says you can. Malcolm, sorry. So you can gain the expertise in any field by spending 10,000 hours. You are on the top of the world. That is what he gave. He analyzed a couple of the successful people. And what I'm saying, compare 10,000 hours to 1 hour plus 10 hours plus 30 hours. And that 10 hours you are driving. Recall the principle and remember it. Contemplate. Practice in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening. So before I go further, I'll summarize in the next session. So let us do the first practice that we did on the first day. Relaxation, mindfulness practice for 10 and 15 minutes. You have a liberty to sit or lie down. No issue. In the beginning, when we start learning, Don't create untoward condition. No, we have to sit. So what happens after a few minutes? You have a pain and discomfort in the body. So that becomes a pain meditation. So I don't want to give you any pain and discomfort meditation. I'm not interested in that. So follow natural rhythm. Eyes are closed. I'll briefly touch and then eyes are closed. Gently. Naturally. We prepare ourselves for this relaxation and mindfulness practice. How do we prepare? The first preparatory step is being comfortable. And we will go through the process of being comfortable. How? First, adjust and align your body the way you like to do it. You like to feel, you experience a particular position of the body is comfortable. The position is done. So once the position is done, we still go through a process and simple, move the mind on the neck joint. The mind feels the neck joint. Knowledge. What knowledge you get? It is comfortable. If it is not, you can adjust and align. So once you have aligned, now you feel comfortable. And there is a third experience, that is steadiness. Move the mind on the shoulder joints. Sometimes what happens, the mind that I talked yesterday, it is the mind that is the cause, leads to meditative state. It is the mind that causes the distraction, impurities of the mind. Mind is responsible for both. So when you move the mind on the shoulder joints, feel. What do you feel? Sensation, because mind is there. Then you're comfortable and you experience the sense of steadiness. Now see that, does body move by itself? No, it has to move by the mind. So if the mind is listening to me and it is following the instruction with awareness, the body will stop moving. I can simply promise to you. But then what happens? The mind has a habit of jumping. It creates hundreds of situations through its past impression. And those past impressions are known as sanskaras. When you shift and delete all the sanskaras, shift and delete, then what happens? You naturally move into a meditative state. So here it is little, maintaining that awareness. Move the mind on the knee joints. The mind is looking at the knee joints. It feels the sensation. It is comfortable, and you also experience the sense of steadiness. The entire body. Today is the concluding session, so we'll be repeating all those practices plus one more practice. So the entire body is comfortable, feeling of sensation and the steadiness. Now we will start with the first step. You're listening to the instructions and simply follow it and check it. Is it a knowledge practice which I explained to you just now? Knowledge is realized by distance in time. Knowledge is realized in time, and the knowledge is realized here and now. So all the four steps belongs to that category. what it needs. The mind has to be purified. It has to, and one has to be a seeker. We'll talk about that. Look at the head and the neck. Look, head and the neck. Feel the sensation and awareness. We did not ask anything to the mind to do something in the time and the space. See that? Look at the right arm. The mind moves on the right arm. You feel the sensation and become aware. Move the mind on the left arm. Feel the sensation and become aware. You see, I strictly adhere to the principles laid down by our great masters. I do not teach anything out of this Eastern wisdom. You're teaching law of gravitation and you go out of that law, then what happens? That is what is happening related regarding meditation. Move the mind on the chest and the belly. Feel the sensation and awareness. You are already experiencing the state of being comfortable and steadiness. In that state, the mind is moving. The mind is moving on the right leg. Feel the sensation and awareness. Knowledge is here and now, the third step. The first day I did not talk about this principle, I simply gave you the practice. Move the mind on the left leg, sensation and awareness, the entire body, sensation and awareness. Now look at the second step. Second step will help prevent the mind to go out. How? Look at the head and the neck again. Experience sensation and stillness. Body cannot move by itself. So in the field of awareness, your experience is sensation and stillness. That does everything. And when you lose, shift your awareness, the body starts moving, the mind starts thinking, goes into the past, into the future. But for that we need to prepare ourselves. I'm going to talk about the chest and the belly, sensation and the stillness. Right leg, mind moves there, sensation and stillness. Left leg, sensation and stillness. The entire body. The mind looks at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes and experience sensation and stillness. That experience of the sensation and the stillness is outside. Now we want to go behind the mind. Transcending the mind means going behind. Now you're looking in front, you're looking at me because I'm in front of you. But if I go behind you, how do you look? Eastern wisdom guides us. So here we are tweaking. Look inside the head and the neck and become aware of the space. That's all. Whether it is a space or a darkness or emptiness, where is the point of knowledge and understanding? The sense organs are one-sided windows. They open only to the external world. With that understanding, you are looking inside the heart. So what happens? The mind projects the space. The mind does not bring the past. So what is behind the heart? I know. There is a physical heart and the blood. You see that? That causes the problem. Move the mind once again inside the head. Be there in the fourth step. From inside, the mind seems to be living within, in the state of being comfortable, feeling the sensation and the stillness in the body. The mind is living within. From within, you are looking at the breath. The breath goes in, breath comes out, goes in, comes out. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. I prevent myself using the phrase focus on the breath. Focus means you are making an effort. Looking at the breath means casually you are looking at the breath with an awareness, and if some thought comes, you recall mentally what I was looking at the breath, and the next moment the mind returns to the breath. We have already spent 12 minutes into the practice, and now to do nothing. Knowledge here and now. No space-time, no time, here and now. So that helps the mind to touch that knowledge which is here and now. You simply do nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Bring your mind on the left hand. Raise both your palms. Place it on your closed eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down and sit up. How are you feeling?
Good. Relaxed.
Relaxed? It's okay.
Yeah, I was drifting into my nap.
Oh, it's okay. Drifting into the naps. It's okay. It means you are already relaxed. Harry,
Yes,
I'm always relaxed.
that's good.
you did not snore today.
He did, I heard him.
You should have heard yesterday.
Oh,
So we first is within 5 minutes what we did the last 2 days, so you get some reflection. Like the sense organ as an instrument of knowledge that helps me to see this objective world, the mind and the intellect. Through the structure of a thought, I can understand deeply what is this material world, what are the natural phenomena. That includes Newton's law of motion, law of gravitation, how the smartphone works. But these two instruments of the knowledge cannot help us to succeed in meditation. Objective knowledge. So Eastern wisdom, when I say it is an instrument of knowledge, every master says this is an instrument of knowledge. To see what? To see what is behind the mind, what is beyond the senses. Clear? I'm talking what these masters are talking. So even if you disagree, don't disagree with me. Need not to. So in order, I have to be eligible to become a scientist, an engineer, and a doctor. There must be some eligibility, requirement. Yesterday I talked about it. You want to be a doctor, you may be very slim and thin, you can become a doctor. Right? You have to pass the examination. You have to study it. But if you want to if you want to be a police cop, like Shirin, you want to go into military, they ask, chest measurement, right? So eligibility and requirement to become a cop and go into the military is different from becoming a doctor, right? Am I right? If I'm not right, in order to become a seeker of meditation, now come, the Eastern wisdom says what? What it says. Huh?
Purify the mind.
Yeah. It says there's the 3 levels of challenges in the mind. First is ignorance. What is ignorance? Incomplete knowledge. What is incomplete knowledge? Who am I? I don't have a clarity. I enter into a fight when I claim I'm a husband. Right? But when I was beloved, before being a husband, everything was different. So first level was this, second level is this, and third level, leave. I'm totally confused. If you look at it, I changed my position. When there is a pain in the body, then I say I have a pain. I feel emotional pain, then I become mind. I'm not sure. Who am I? So this is known as the ignorance, incomplete knowledge. What the master says, my true nature, what is in fact in reality I am the real self, full of peace, happiness, love and wisdom. Why I don't see it? Because of ignorance. Because of the ignorance comes the impurities. What are the impurities? What are those impurities? The desire. What is that desire? We should not have desire. What you are saying? So here the desire is defined, pay attention. Seeking anything outside myself for happiness. That is why I marry for happiness. That is why I divorce for happiness. See that? And you can apply this principle for any objective reality. No, I'm a rich guy, so I bought the best car for my son and he met with an accident. What my mind will say? I should not have had this much of money. So I'm projecting happiness outside through my mind. That is not fulfilled, then I get agitated. That is fulfilled, then I'm stuck, I get obsessed with it. Take an example of addiction. One example. You can apply the same thing. So it goes on. It explains the 8 different factors that causes the stress and the suffering in my life. And they are understood as impurities. And because of these impurities, the third factor also comes in the mind. The mind is constantly distracted. It is wandering. It is because of these 2 impurities and the ignorance, the mind is wandering. Otherwise, there is no reason the mind should wander. So when I remove this, I become a seeker. I'm eligible. I'm qualified. The Sanskrit word in the teachings of the text, it is known as adhikari. Adhikari means now I'm qualified. I'm qualified. So I become a seeker. Anything more that I covered yesterday? Jerry? So once I become a seeker, then what we have covered 2 verses from this Upanishad. It says the mind is of 2 types, pure and impure. The impure mind has a desire. What is desire? Moving of the mind outside on an object, on a person or a thing, seeking and projecting happiness there. But happiness is not outside. It is like, I want to see the sun in the west. It cannot be seen. As long as I turn the face to the east, the sun is here and now. So the first verse so it means, he says that the pure mind is devoid of that movement of the mind scattered outside, projecting happiness. So it means that meditative state is devoid of the desire. Yeah. So that is what we have. We are today. It is what it says. When the mind drops its attachment with the objects outside and is fully withdrawn within the heart and thus realizes the essence, then the meditative state is attained or discovered. I'm just talking about these verse was written almost 4,000 years ago. So there are a couple of things. First, it is withdrawn inside. Means what? The mind moving within, living within, then it awakens within. Right? I'm just simplifying it. Mind is withdrawn. The other part that is very brings a lot of confusion. It says mind has to be withdrawn inside the heart. What it means? Inside the physical heart? Inside the physical heart. That may be a state of coma. The state of coma is not a meditative state. So when the Ye's masters uses, it should be withdrawn inside the heart. There the heart is the seat of pure consciousness. The heart is the seat of my real self. It is not the physical heart. We don't talk about the physical heart. Nobody knew that. The science was not there 10,000 years ago. So here the heart is the seat of my true nature. So that is normally known as the center of the rib cage deep inside. Indication, symbolically, the mind should go within, live within, continue to live within. Like I gave you the example, then you are waiting and the revelation takes place. And you are in, you experience that inner peace and happiness and love and wisdom. Any question before we go for another practice? I will talk again, I will bore you again, and then we will have another session. You should have a conviction. You should remove all the doubts. Any doubt? Raise the question. Mind moving within, living within, that leads to awakening within. You're in your office, you drive home, park your car in the garage. Now you're moving inside, you see that? Step by step. Garage. You left the car in the garage. You don't move the car into your living room. Provided if you have more space and a way to move the car directly into the living room. Eric, you have that?
Yes. Nicaragua.
Now see that you left the car means what? You left the body in the state of sensation in the stillness. Okay, you have parked the car. That is why we say in the early stages of meditation, the body has to be still. It prevents the mind to go out. And if you leave the car running, then you are in the living room. So what happens in the living room? TV is running. Kitchen is by the side. Yeah? Powder room is also there. Right? So you become aware of what is happening in the mind. And you want to leave the kitchen, the living room altogether. Where you go then? After the living room.
Bedroom.
Bedroom. Right? Now pay attention, the difference between sleep and the meditation, I'm just comparing. Now you switch off the light. You lie down on the bed. You have left the garage. You have left the living room. Light is off. Means what? Goodbye to the world outside. Don't struggle. The moment you struggle the mind, oh, I have a lot of thoughts, I couldn't focus. I never tell you to focus. Do you focus to sleep? Come on. Do you focus to go into the living room? Did you focus to enter into the studio? You know it, you have a knowledge, you open. Oh, hi Lara.
So why do you even ask us if we have questions?
What did you say? Can you repeat the question so that I should understand it clearly before answering?
You don't have to answer. So I said if we just enter it and listen with our heart,
Yes.
then there will be no question asked. Why do you even ask us if we have questions?
Yes. Not everyone is a seeker. They continue to have that level of ignorance, the level of impurities, and because of that impurities, the mind is constantly wandering. Everyone is not like you, Grace.
They all like me.
Grace,
They just don't know yet.
why don't you come here? Why don't you come here?
It's the Eastern meets the Eastern, so I have
Yes.
to be here.
So, see that, going back, you left the garage, you left the garage, you went into the living room, you left the living room. Now you see, naturally you switch off the light, means you say the goodbye to the world. Can I say goodbye to the world in the field of awareness? I need not to focus, I need not to make any effort, I need not to be crazy. The way you lie down on the bed. Difference between the sleep and meditation. In sleep, you fall into unconsciousness. In meditation, you rise into consciousness. You maintain that awareness, saying goodbye to the world outside. When you say goodbye to the world outside, the mind and intellect also drops. Because it is created by the matter and the interaction with the different forms of the matter to see this objective reality. To recognize you, Grace, I need this mind and intellect and the senses. See the funny aspect, to recognize my true nature, I don't need them.
So isn't that your nature becomes one with the greater nature, and the greater nature becomes one with you? So you have the
Yes, you
infinite
have
wisdom. Then you can gain infinite wisdom from the universe, because the universe holds it all.
Grace is wonderful. She jumped 5 steps above. We are still in the primary. But she is right. So what we say, the one master explains that the moment you realize the true nature, the very true nature is the wisdom. It is not that you get the infinite wisdom. How the self knows? Through the mind and intellect? No. The self knows itself by the self. The very absolute knowledge is the self. The very infinite happiness and continued state of the happiness is the self. So that very self, after realization, we experience it is one and the same in all beings. So that is, our master speaks of Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. The self is of the nature of truth, infinity, and knowledge. It is itself the knowledge. It is not different from the knowledge. So when we have an objective knowledge, I know grace, means mind is the instrument. Object, as a person, grace is here, and there is a process of knowing. The 3 factors are there. In self knowing, no 3 factors. So that is why we say the self itself is the knowledge, and returning knowledge in time and the space. Do you remember? I explained you 3 ways to get the knowledge. Knowledge in time and the space. Knowledge in time. Can I grow myself very old within a month? I have to wait. Knowledge in time. No, this is the second example. It doesn't happen. A child is born. Marry him. Wait until the legal age. Yeah, you see, there are many factors. And the third is knowledge here and now, no space, no time. Why? It is me, it is my true nature. But what is blocking me? That is what we covered. Ignorance. Impurities. So then we covered, the master says the mind is the cause of ignorance and mind is the cause of peace and happiness. Mind is the cause of suffering and mind is the cause of happiness. Remove this impure mind, that needs an effort. The self is already there. Huh? So when you reach to Lara's studio, the studio doesn't shift its position in the space, it remains there. In the space and time, you are making an effort. Are you clear? First, there must be clear intellectual understanding. Why? When you have an understanding, there is no doubt. When there is no doubt, the mind will stop wandering. If you have really understood and accepted the principles. If you have not, means your mind. You may move your head like this or that, but internally, if you have a conviction, it is done. And then this practice brings the real result. Sorry, Grace, not for you. Any question? The question.
I appreciate your sense of humor.
Huh?
I love your sense of humor.
So what's the balance between
Sense of humor and
the desire of the external and the peace of the self?
simple one thing I discussed yesterday. When you treat the path of self-discovery or meditation, never allow your mind or intellect to change anything outside. Continue doing what you're doing outside. Let the change come inside first. And the change inside will bring about a necessary change outside. You need not to worry about it. Continue doing whatever you are doing. So what will happen? You are doing meditation, and your experience of calmness is there. This calmness is going to manifest outside in your relationship. If it is not manifesting, you're not doing it. So now what is going to happen? Previously you used to be angry, but now the calmness, it will hold you back. Come on, no reason, no way. Why should you react? Let us maintain that calmness. You change. So let the change come from inside. Don't create a moral and ethical, ground. I'm meditator, so I should not be angry. So anger is not outside physically, but inside you are burning. Don't do that. That is not meditation, that is hypocrisy. Check why I'm not able to change inside. Why? I was not like this when I was born. No regrets. When you were born, no complaint, no fear of the future. Why you have now? Mind lives in ignorance. Just pick up one principle and then explain to yourself what is that incompleteness in me, how the mind is working that is causing the fear. So once you are clear, no questions, let us start the practice again. Is you right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Oh, you're thinking.
Right, I'm thinking.
What?
Thinking
You're
too
trying
much.
to think?
Trying
Don't
to
try.
control the mind. I'm trying to control
Don't
the
try. Everything will fall into the right place.
mind.
Sitting is wonderful. So lie down, or sit. Whatever is good for you. Meditation is always sitting. To tell you, Buddha did meditation for 6 months lying on the right side, 6 months on the left side. That's why you see 6 months on the supine position and 6 months while sitting in the Siddhasana. 6 months like you. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. So we'll go little deeper. I will tweak it, and then you will see eyes are closed. So gradually, when we come closer in learning more and more, then you will realize why I use being comfortable, being carefree in every meditation practice. So being comfortable is the first step. Eyes are closed gently, looking at the neck joint, feeling the sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. I always try to give 200% in every session. It has been my way for the last 40 years. Started teaching at the age of 19 or 20. So looking at the shoulder joints, I told you, now you understand, move the mind on the shoulder joints, you feel the sensation. Sensation is in knowledge. Mind says, yes, it is comfortable. And then you experience the steadiness. The mind is with you 200%. And if it is not, we have to become a seeker. I gave you an answer clearly. Then the hip joint, feel the sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Move the mind on the shoulder joints, knee joints, ankles, entire body. Mind is looking at the entire body. How it is looking at your own body? The way I'm looking at your body. Can you see your own body like that? And the mind is totally different, standing across. It happens. When this being comfortable, you continue doing it, one day it will happen. And I can tell you on that day, your mind, your intellect will never leave this journey of meditation. Even if you want to leave, it cannot be undone. Now the second point I'm introducing is being carefree. Let the thought come and go. How to understand that? How simple. You're standing across a highway watching the traffic. You are standing across, you don't move. But the mind is moving with the traffic of the thoughts here and there. That is the meaning of being carefree. Any thought, any feeling, good and bad, high and low, past and future, they are all traffic. You are different from the traffic. You are standing across the traffic and looking at the traffic of the mind. Can I give you another example? Looking into the sky, you see the birds are flying away from you. All the birds have flown. What is left? Normally people say nothing is left. Sky is left. So what carefree does? It helps the mind to start moving within. Looking at the head and the neck. Looking at the head and the neck. Moving the mind all around the head and the neck. Be there. Who is there? Mind. How? You are aware. So when you maintain your awareness and you be there, you experience sensation. You also experience relaxation. Why? It is because of being comfortable and carefree. And you experience stillness. Move the mind on the right arm. Be there, sensation, relaxation and stillness. The mind goes to the left leg. You can change the sequence, it hardly matters. That's why I changed it. The right leg. Remember, now I appreciate everyone is aware that the mind has to move to the right leg, not the opposite. If it is opposite, it is a matter of ignorance. You see how the ignorance enters into the mind. You might have heard the mantra Asatu Ma Satgamaya. And the second one, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Moving from ignorance to wisdom is the journey of yoga and meditation. And moving from the wisdom to ignorance is the journey to suffering, pain and problems in our life. So move the mind on the right leg Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. The mind on the left leg, be there. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. The mind goes to the left arm. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. The entire body, sensation, relaxation and stillness. Look at the entire body. Remember, in this journey you will experience tingling, numbness, freezing of the body. You may experience as if the body is rising, touching the ceiling. It's okay. You may have certain vision and colors. Be with it, accept it, recognize it, don't move. Now, first 3 steps, I'm just giving you a hint. In the first 3 steps, we move the mind within, and then the next 3 steps, we enjoy living within. What is that enjoy living within? Waiting. And that has to be done in a very simple manner, internally, while working on the mind. Yesterday I covered the goal, how to become a seeker, start working on the mind. So we are going to work on the mind in a very simple, natural, effortless manner. So first look at the breath. Breath goes in and out. You know the breath is going in and out. You feel the breath is, you feel the sensation of the breath going in and out, and no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Now in that state of awareness of the breath, when the breath goes in, drop Om. You all are familiar with Om. Drop 1 Om when the breath goes in, and you drop 1 Om when the breath comes out. But make sure you are natural. There is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Hence, the first 3 steps, I told you, helping the mind to move within. The next 3 steps, enjoying the moment of living within. In the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness, in the state of awareness of the breath going in and out, feeling the sensation, no change, you are dropping 1 Om with every breath going in, 1 Om with every breath coming out. Now drop 2 Om, each breath going in and coming out. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. That's how we make the mind subtle. The breath is going in Om, breath is returning Om, no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath, no change in the state of the body. The mind has to work on the mind. Mentally you are doing it. 2 Om is not a big deal. Breath goes in, Om Om. Breath comes out, Om Om. It's okay. Let it, this sound, make you aware, maintain your awareness. Now drop 3 Om, but the breath is the same, no change. In the rate and the rhythm of the breath, you're still looking at the breath going in Om Om Om. Breath is returning Om Om Om. And continue to experience the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. When there is no movement in the body in the beginning, it shows, it indicates the mind is working on the mind. It is not going out to work on the body. You know by yourself. That is the uniqueness I offer in more than 100 different practices. You make a conscious journey. Nothing is mystical. Everything is clear to you. Continue. 3 Om when the breath goes in, 3 Om when the breath comes out. And now return to 2 Om, dropping 2 Om on the same breath. What is going to happen? The mind will find an expansion. Where? Inside. So it is more liberating. Everything is the same. The body is in the state of sensation, relaxation, stillness. The breath is, there's no change. In the rate and the rhythm of the breath head, the mind is dropping to Om. With every breath going in, with every breath coming out. I gave this practice when understanding, not 5% of understanding of you guys when I talked and asked you, do you have any question? You didn't ask. So I said, no, let me give this practice. So every time you attend my session, you will find the practice changes. They're throbbing 2 ohm with every breath going in and out. It is conditional. You don't make any effort in changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. And that helps the mind to continue to live within because it finds the space. And I'll explain you what the space means. I have discussed it yesterday. Now, 1 ohm. We started with 1 ohm. Drop 1 ohm with every breath going in and out. This time you may be experiencing more space. A feeling, a sense, an awareness of more space means what? Expansion of the mind. And what is this expansion of the mind? The real meaning of the word Tantra is expansion of the mind and liberation of energy. What is that liberation of energy? The energy is liberated from the ignorant mind. Then what happens? It moves upward. Then what happens? The mind is absorbed, transcended. Just giving you a picture. Now do nothing. Remain as you are in the state of doing nothing. Doing something, the principle says it is desire to live, work and enjoy outside. And when you discover a state of doing nothing, behind the mind, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind to the right hand, your mind to the left hand. Raise both your palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. The eye inside the palm. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down and you may sit up. Now. Are you done? How are you, sir? Good? I'm good. You are good. Practice is good. What is good?
I was in a weird state.
Yeah. Normally in our daily life we live in a weird state. This is not a weird state. This is a better state. You are able to maintain that stillness. You experience the calmness. Normally why we feel weird? The mind is so much obsessed with pleasure and happiness with some object, with some person, with something, with an event. We deleted everything. It is the state of doing nothing. So we had a glimpse of that calmness coming from within. So this is a perfect state, otherwise we live in a weird state. Am I clear? Yeah, we discussed, that the other day. Are you clear? You should be clear. Whether you accept me or not, that's a different thing. Guys, how are you? Good?
Yeah.
You went into the same state again. I could see that. Yes, I could see your face. That's really good. Shane?
Good.
Good.
I think I was snoring.
Snoring?
Yeah.
Very good. Continue to do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Don't worry about it. Snoring, we are unconscious. We don't know what we are doing. So if the other person is disturbed, let them be disturbed. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know.
Half the time.
Don't get upset. And by the side Grace is there, she is going to accept everything. She has already told you. She is full of grace. Right? So going back, we will pick up the two verses to explain you. Normally, otherwise everyone has a very strong opinion about what is meditation. Huh? Yeah. So, beautiful definition. I'll only speak of, this is Amrit Bindu Upanishad. So we have 365 Upanishads. Upanishads are the group of the text. Another beautiful meaning of the Upanishad is that I did not discuss yesterday and day before. So let me give you Upanishad. It has three meanings. First meaning, destroy the suffering from your life. All the pain, anxiety, reaction come to an end. Second, awaken to inner peace and happiness. Third, the teacher reveals the meaning through the book of knowledge. exactly it, it's, allow this intellect to understand that. So say I'm a science teacher and I say, okay, today we will study the Newton's law of motion. I'm very clear. It is the Newton scientist who discovered this, invented this law. See that? Right? Meditation, book of knowledge, Eastern wisdom. So because I have gone through that process, I have gone through that training in a master and a disciple tradition, the way my master taught me, I give my own expression and I'm teaching. That's all the difference. So now I'll come to the meditation. Pay attention, then we'll explain. The mind should be withdrawn by regular practice with wisdom, with understanding. If you do not practice with understanding, it becomes a habitual practice. Then what we say, let me focus on the breath to relax, and leave the focus on the breath to remain stressful. No, that is not. So regular practice with understanding, with wisdom. The mind should be withdrawn by the regular practice with wisdom to that extent in which it gets merged into the heart. What we say, I don't, you can help me, Grace, remember what we say, two body, one soul. What we say? Two soul, one body, or two body, what we say? When we are in intense love with someone, what is that proverb?
Two minds, one body.
Two mind, two minds, one body, or we say two body, one soul.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh yeah, two body, one soul. Two bodies, one soul. So now understand that. The mind should be withdrawn by a regular practice with wisdom to that extent in which it gets merged into the heart. In real self. What it means? The mind keeps the separate identity of myself. And the same mind is withdrawn inside. When it is withdrawn inside completely, the mind loses that sense of separate I-ness. That is the merging. Merging into the heart. So what the master said, this is knowledge of the real self. And this is meditation. And he confirms all else is argumentation and verbiage. Is very clear. He says the rest you go on talking about it, it is all argument. It is a waste of time. It's all a verbal expression. I'm repeating, and then mind should be withdrawn by regular practice with wisdom to that extent in which it gets merged into the heart, means the real self. The mind loses the separate identity. I'm a teacher. I'm better than you. I'm worse than you. I'm a professor. There's a long list. That identity. I lose that superficial identity. I'm losing my ignorance. So the mind ultimately becomes pure and merged into the real self. The master said, this is knowledge of the self. And this is meditation. He explains, this is meditation. All else is argument. If you try to use your intellect with reference to the objective reality, it is a waste of time. I'm not saying. Master is saying. So he came to the 5th verse. He says, I have to do a regular practice. The first 4 verses that we covered yesterday and day before. So it means I have to prepare myself, I have to become a seeker. I have to understand what is pure and impure mind. Right? Huh? But simply by listening, oh, I understood that, what he is talking about, it happens. But I don't contemplate. So when I do not contemplate and reflect, then what happens? The same habitual mind, the same routine, the same anxiety. Then you come back to the teacher and you claim that the teacher is crazy, he doesn't know my problem. It happens. It happened to me a couple of times. And I said, yes, you're right, I'm crazy. And I'm more crazy than you think. We covered a couple of principles to summarize, and then we will do one more practice. Right? I forgot. Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours. You need not to spend 10,000 hours. In the 6 hours, you already have a recording. Take it, listen to it, and then find out the main points in the bullets. Then take those bullet points into your mind. Remember them when you wake up in the morning. Just remember. It doesn't take anything. I'm not asking to spend 10 hours per day. You are in a restroom, mind is working somewhere else. Bring the mind to remember those principles. Take a shower. No, we don't have time. I'm very busy. Even if you are awfully busy, you cannot expect to have 25 hours in a day. That's very clear. And one reference from one master who says that people who say that I'm always busy has a mixture of the impurity of the mind and the distracted mind. Wavering mind plus, why the wavering mind? It is moving to millions of the thoughts without any reason. How can I go to my home after the concluding the session? Unnecessary thought. Let me first conclude, say goodbye, and go there and sit in. What will happen if my tire, the tire breaks down, car breaks down? What will happen if there is a rush, there is a traffic? Shitty. These thoughts comes to your mind. These kind of the thoughts is the cause of modern psychology, PTSD. And a host of other, problems, anxiety and loss. I don't want to talk into it. We have 8 different symptoms of that stress is explained by the Patanjali. So I'm not going in. Sometimes shivering, anxiousness, eyes open, reaction. 8 symptoms are given by the Patanjali, who wrote this text more than 2,500 years ago. 2,500 years back, when there was no modern science. Clear symptoms. He referred in one of the sutra, you have a short breath, you are suffering from anxiety. Now we know it has to do with the psychosomatic movement. The mind has a stress, it increases the breath rate. So you feel the breath rate is fast, it goes again into the mind, it creates a circle which is known as psychosomatic. What is it? Mind travels to the body, symptoms travels to the mind. That is psychosomatic. And we have a somatopsychic also. He explained that. I'm not obsessed with anything, I I studied physics and chemistry and modern psychology, physiology. So when I compared it, I say, oh, they are 100% clear about the mind. They may not talk about PTSD, then what? They may not talk about anxiety or distress. So why I opened up this topic, when you practice meditation regularly, this mind undergoes a transformation. Then you cannot have these problems. Whether you feel bored at it or not, but it is a fact. Because that mind lives in communication with the real nature. And the real nature has no opposite of peace, no opposite of happiness, no opposite of love. That self start expressing through the mind only in peace, harmony, happiness, fearlessness. Now it's a good smile. So, fearlessness. So in these 6 hours we undertook a journey based on this, based on the teachings of the Upanishad. Just what the practice we did it in the first stage, the self-awareness, I want to go with that self-awareness practice. First step, because it is an active practice. What is active practice? We engage the mind in asking the mind to do something. That becomes an active practice. The previous practice was semi-passive. We still ask the mind to drop to Om. But the very first practice was totally passive. So you can categorize the meditation practices into 3. A totally active practice, Kundalini. See that? Don't, all meditation leads to the same thing. Semi-active, more or less the Raj Yoga meditation with a mantra and other stuff. And totally passive is known as mindfulness. But all are meditation. There is no difference between mindfulness and meditation. If they practice home, it has 4 steps. First step, quick and fast breathing. How the breathing, this quick and fast breathing is related into this practice? Patanjali says what it says. Yeah. Dharana Sucha Yogyata Manaso. 1 sutra, the second is Tatakshiyate Prakashavarnam. 2 benefits. Now, I will not explain those benefits which is already written in Google. Because I don't know it. I know my field. So it says it removes the veil of ignorance over the mind by doing a systematic breathing practice. Second benefit, it gives you a remarkable focus of the mind. 2-fold benefit. Then we will use the half mantra. Half mantra means lips together and you have to do the humming sound. Now how, one step deeper. Put your right hand here on the forehead and do the humming. Until you feel those vibrations, you have to keep that rhythm louder, deeper and longer. Put your right hand on the forehead. Do you feel it? So you have to keep that rhythm which gives you the vibes on the forehead. Then only the practice will succeed. Otherwise you will not succeed. Third part is a simple contemplation and reflection that I will add during the practice, and the fourth is the same, the simple breath awareness, and it will not take 10,000 hours, it will take only 10 minutes. Right, Grace? Do you allow me?
I agree with everything you say.
Now, do you allow me to give the practice?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Let us do the practice. Let us keep sitting. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. You're comfortable. Make yourself comfortable. Understand what I discussed. Eyes are closed, gently looking into the neck joint, feeling the sensation. Being comfortable and steady. Shoulder joint, knee joints, ankles and the toes. Make your body comfortable. I can really understand that you all make your car comfortable by switching off. This being comfortable is switching off the mind from the body. After making the body, putting the body into a right position, right state, with a joy and a happiness in the mind. Don't feel that I order you to keep the body still. No, it's not an order. Okay, no movement. Looking inside the forehead. Now looking inside the forehead. If you can't sit, then you can lie down. I have no restriction. So now looking inside the forehead. Where do you see the space? Keep looking into the space and start breathing quick and fast from the chest. There should be an expansion of the chest and contraction. If it is not possible, then do the way you like it. Just continue. Quick, fast breath. Quick, fast and short breath. Maintain the smile on the face. We have to do it minimum for a minute. I'm looking at the time, so you need not to worry about it. Quick, fast. Quick, fast. Quick and fast. Quick and fast. Continue. Quick and fast. Continue. 2 minutes for being comfortable. 1 minute of quick and short breath. But when you do it by yourself, you have to count the breath. It should be minimum 120 breath. I'm telling you, just giving the takeaway practice. Every day, without fail, for 3 months. Morning, evening. And stop it. So 3 minutes are done. Now take a deep breath into the belly and the chest. Keep looking inside the forehead and start the humming sound. Louder, deeper, longer. What is most important? Louder sound and awareness inside the forehead. Wonderful. No shyness, just continue. Keep looking inside the forehead, my friends. louder, deeper, and longer with awareness of the space inside the forehead. Louder, deeper, and longer, my friends. Now stop this humming, keep looking deep inside your forehead in the space. There you talk and communicate mentally with yourself. You can do it verbally based on the principle you already know. Asatoma Satgamaya. So how do we contemplate what we repeat this mentally? Asatoma Satgamaya. Then we go to the meaning. Moving from the false to the truth is a journey to self-discovery. Now we come to contemplation. All my anxiety, negativity, reaction, duality, conflict is false. And what is truth? Truth is my real nature. What is my real nature? That inner permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom. But then why? Now you contemplate, you ask the question, why I have those anxiety and the stress and the duality and a conflict and a relationship challenges and a long list which the abnormal psychology covers. Why I have it? Because I live in ignorance, I have identified myself with these challenges. So they